Hello, hello, friends. If you're tuning in the future, hope the future's doing well. We are revisiting wheel sound today, or kolvod, which is apparently the sound a wheel makes. I'm kind of curious what that means to a dwarf at this point. I haven't looked into their language enough to really know the significance of that. But I guess we'll find out. We'll find out what a wheel sound means to a dwarf. A rotten lettuce roast. Rotten octopus meat stew. We really don't have enough people eating. We are in the middle of goblin country, though, so the visitors are probably going to be basically people trying to get through goblin country. Oh, I missed having the background noise of dwarves, and eventually we'll have music again here, too. When I opened it up, it looks like we have a decent amount of the population relatively happy. We've got 24 dead neutral door. Like, happy side. 15 is actually the neutral number. That one's smack in the middle. But they look angry to me. They still look angry in their neutral state. Maybe it's just the eyebrows. But we do have two very upset dwarves, apparently. Uh-oh. One of them's a child. Who cares what they think? She was horrified reliving seeing a goblin die. That's probably one of the goblins that was trying to steal the children. But she was horrified by watching them die. Didn't feel anything while crying on somebody in charge. That's not a good sign. Didn't feel anything due to inebriation. Bad sign in a dwarf. It's interesting that she started to feel enjoyment playing with a toy axe after that, though. So, okay, this one is learning how to care for the animals. What can we do for this kid? She's dour as a rule. This is the problem. She's conflicted by this as she values parties and merrymaking in the abstract. She does not often feel lustful. She doesn't mind wearing something special now and again. She's not inherently proud of her talents and accomplishments. She's not particularly interested in what others think of her. So she's not getting external validation from anybody, because she doesn't care what they think. She's not inherently proud of her talents and accomplishments, so she's not getting any validation from what she's doing. She feels conflicted because she's too dour to join parties and merrymaking, which she values in abstract. She's moved by art and natural beauty, and she's troubled by this since she dislikes the natural world. She does not go out of her way to help others. So she doesn't get a good feeling out of, altruism or anything like that. She's moved by art and natural beauty, but that whole thing troubles her because she dislikes the natural world. This dwarf is going to be impossible to keep happy. She scratches her ear when she's trying to remember something. And the last section is like every dwarf. She needs alcohol to get through the working day. She does not mind being outdoors, at least for a time. And she's getting used to tragedy. That last part is the concerning part. She personally would just as soon have nature and the great outdoors burned to ashes and converted into a great mining pit, a strengthening after being caught in the rain in 102. This is what I was talking about before. You said never mind. Yeah, it's not you. It's not you. She was so traumatized by being caught in the rain that she wants to see nature burned to ashes. She finds eloquence and artful speech off-putting and sees competition as wasteful and silly. She dreams of mastering a skill. That we can do for her, and that might change her mind about some things. Giant harp seal bone. She likes a lot of stuff that we don't really have. The sound of the golden cave. Prefers to consume mead and detests bats. I'm really not sure what I can do for this kid. She... I guess she's not really going to enjoy being outdoors. They're dwelling upon seeing dead bodies and stuff like that. So despite my efforts to try to keep them away from it, I think I'm just going to turn off the chores, because they seem to go and find the dead bodies no matter what. They're just too fascinated. Okay, they can do milking, because, I mean, if they want to master a skill, they gotta actually do skills. Stone and wood hauling can be dangerous. I think it's the item hauling that's leading them to the dead bodies. They can do furniture, food, and milking. That's it. They can do a few things. The milking is at least a skill for them to be learning. They kind of just need to be hanging out in the tavern, playing with the toys. I need to... Okay. It doesn't allow them here. Where are all the toys ending up? There they are. They're just gonna disallow toys from being down here. And that way they'll actually take them to the tavern. Alright, so we had two quite unhappy dwarves. The militia captain. Poor memory, anger prone. You're gonna need to be reassigned. The fires of bronze. Yeah, sorry, buddy. I really cannot have a hothead being in charge. I gotta move the chat so I can actually see what I'm doing here. I'll put you left side for now. See if that works. I have to move the chat with basically every game. It feels like. How am I doing this? I know there is a way to... There we go. Lots of people that aren't already in a squad. Is it messed up to make the animal trainer the leader of a squad? Because I think he has experience in some regard. Like, if nobody has any level of experience, then the animal trailer or the animal trainer has the most experience in training, right? Right? Let's see about him, the animal trainer, at some point. But yeah, he needs to not be in charge of a squad if he's got anger issues. That goes wrong real fast. Frustrated after being away from traditions for too long. Oh, he actually worships a different deity than we have a thing for. See, he's got a lot of happy, he's euphoric due to inebriation, satisfied with his work. Stuff like that. Why is he so unhappy? Is it just because he's anger prone? Little difficulty with words, very bad analytical abilities, lack of understanding of social relationships, and a really bad memory. And he felt sad because he didn't feel like he had time with friends. Yeah, distracted after being away from friends. So, what's going on with him? Does he have friends? He has a wife. And he has a whole bunch of passing acquaintances. That will be why. That will be why he's upset. He experienced trauma. However that goblin died, traumatized several dwarves. I don't know what happened to that guy, but whew. Yeah, he's horrified reliving seeing it. I think that may have been one of the ones that they basically just pinned down and punched to death before they really had weapons. He's currently more thoughtless, he's currently more confident, he's currently more rude, currently more fearless, currently more shameless, and currently less private. Does try to do things correctly each time, though. He personally is a firm believer in the value of tradition, that's why he's upset about it. Doesn't respect a society that is settled into harmony without debate and strife. Respects power, values peace over war, doesn't care about nature one way or another. Less extreme after being caught in the rain in 102, the same year that the other dwarf decided that they want to burn down all of nature because of that rain. Doesn't really see the point of working hard. Dreams of mastering a skill. I'm gonna put him in the library when we have one. If he's still around when we have a library, if he likes debating, he can do that. He can spend his time doing that. Seems like that would actually make him happy. Arguing dwarves are useful. There's a place for everybody here. You know what? We have enough space. We have excess chests. Alright, I think we were working on the hospital too. Yeah. This is important to finish. That's why I don't have the chat there. Okay, you guys can be over on the right side of my screen unless I'm working on squads. That is what I've determined. I might need to assign somebody to making the blocks if, Oh, I think part of the problem was we didn't have enough, stuff. We were in the process of digging. Love the music in this. See, we went down pretty far. Oh. It is a real shame that Diggy Diggy Hole isn't royalty free. That would be excellent to have here. I think I'm gonna do the risky thing and start digging down. Cause we haven't dug into one cavern yet. But yeah, I hear this in my head even when I've closed the game. We have a hen! Well, multiple of them. Do we have any more nest boxes that we just never replaced? Nah. Okay. To be fair, we don't really need more food. I think I will dig out more bedrooms, though. Ah, that's what it was. I got annoyed trying to make everything line up. The bane of all games with a build mode, snap angles. In a way. In a way. It's like, it does eventually have to be uneven. It just kind of will end up that way. But we can have at least like one row over here that's pretty even just because it doesn't have one of these stockpiles in the middle. But until we get far enough along that we want more staircases and stuff like that, they aren't all that useful anyway. See, like, the floor above it isn't even that far along. Oui, moi. And now we're in the jungle. Oh, where are we? I think we're in a swamp in this. What was it? There's a name for it and everything. We're part of the Mindful Boat. Ah, there we are. The Dwarven Fortress of Wheel Sound. The Tenacious Swamp we're in. We're in the Blotted Continents in the Tenacious Swamp. Oh yeah, clothing. That's another thing that we could look at. That will make them much happier. I didn't put down the stockpiles. That's what it is. I don't think I wanted to put leather here. Let's put the threads and the cloth and all that. Sure. Metal cloth as well. And then I think... yeah, footwear, handwear, headwear. The finished goods section is where the finished clothing is gonna go. And we will put that... Actually, I think I want to store that elsewhere anyway. Like, either in these stockpiles or in these stockpiles. So we'll just expand this over to here. Kind of automatically grab that. Wheel sound. Isn't that road noise? I guess so. In Dwarvish, it's Kolvad. I don't know if that's Dwarven onomatopoeia or what. Like, maybe I should be saying that differently. Kolvad. Maybe it's meant to replicate the sound that it makes when the wheel hits the road. Why must they be so violent? Felt empathy remembering discussing an acquaintance's problems. This guy's pretty cool. He's chill. Keeps people calm. That do kind of sound like the noise of a minecart. Ah, I can see it. Specifically those ones that two people stand on and pump a handle to turn a wheel. Wait, okay. We're starting to figure out what wheel sound means. I feel closer to discovering it. Oh, they're all learning about fishing. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna... I'll hold off on the butchering meeting hall. I'd really like to finish, like, the floors here and all. Kind of just need them digging. I'm gonna unpause. Then we're good. We're getting so many more dwarves as well that, it's probably a good idea to just keep expanding the residential floor anyway. No, not a bed. A bed for the dead. A coffin. See, these... the children always end up doing something grim. We've got more seating. Don't know why we were making that, but eventually it'll be useful, I know it. Well, we have lots of iron bars and stuff like that. What can we do now? We can make pig iron. If the bed for the dead is a coffin, then is a boffin bread for the well-read? I don't know. We need to call in the experts. Don't have the required knowledge. The Karen Hall. Ooh, which one? What shall we name this? We can name these areas in green. Apparently their tavern is an unnamed zoo. Well, we don't have very many halls, you know? Like, we have some meeting halls. The fishing one, I think, is the only one so far. Do we have anybody else? No. Looks like it's gonna be the fishing hall. It doesn't have to be a hall. That's true. That's true. I feel like the barracks. The barracks. Because that's where the dwarf that's named after you has been so happy. So happy. Where is it? Little Karen. There's little Karen. They're sparring right now. I had a sparring session. That was very exhilarating. They feel wonder after learning about dodging. The barracks where the dwarves fight immediately post delivering babies. That's right, there was a baby delivered in the barracks. You'd feel wonder too if you learned you didn't have to get hit in the face every time. It's like, that's not what noses are for. You learn something new every day. The elf. Oh no, it's a human. They're just tall. I saw a tall person and I thought an elf. But no, it's just a human bard telling a story in the tavern. We're getting to have quite a few pigs in the tavern. I'm starting to worry for them. The dwarves look like they want bacon. Alright, something I am considering. I mean, we've actually got ore going pretty decently, even without digging down to magma. So I think I'll hold back a bit on that. I would still like to find a cavern today. One of the biggest things we can do for the morale in a relatively short time frame would be to set up a water feature in the tavern. Take a little bit of doing. I feel like this might be a decent area to set up a power station, essentially. Because we will need some for this. Not very much. But because we have to route the power down into here, we are going to have to secure it. Just in case of siege. Autumn has come. Might check on our well before it gets to winter. And again, doesn't look like it's draining very fast. Perhaps faster than some of my other ones. I don't know. We have plenty of dwarves here. Really don't mind having to refill the well more often. Hey, we got a caravan. Also his streak, awesome. I love to see those. It feels like time is flying, basically. It's like it's been 20 days? The human boss, Pabat, has shared a few rumors. Which people are these? These look like dwarves. Huh. Why would he be holding all that? The mysteries of bandages, the mysteries of toxic substances, and poisons. He's literally got these in his hands right now. A narwhal man parchment scroll. Oof. The rollers are made from real gar, as opposed to fake gar. Written on the item is a manual entitled The Mysteries of Toxic Substances, authored by Olan. It concerns the classification of toxic substances. So he has two things concerning the classification of toxic substances. The writing is stunningly self-indulgent. But both of them are kind of poorly written. Concerns the method of bandaging wounds. What is going on with this guy? Either way, we'll get some trading done. Could have sworn we had more than this, guys. Where are you stashing the stuff? We'll just give them some of our less nice mugs. Easiest way to learn which ones are like better than others with the plus marks and the minus, the value here kind of gives it away. Although different materials are going to be worth different amounts for each tier. Is restive a word even? I don't know. I don't think so. It's not one I'm familiar with. Man, we have a lot of mugs. Okay. I feel like that's enough mugs. They can take our broken clothes too. Can't let them take the children's toys, though. Dwarven children throw legendary tantrums. Let's give them some food. We have way too much food. Don't want to give away the spices and stuff, but... Yes, so much food. We could give up some of the booze, too, but that doesn't go bad. I feel like restorative is where my mind goes to try to define that. Oh boy. Merit deserves a reward, and I come empowered to establish this colony as an official land of our realm. Can you imagine the trade wagons? Of course, there are responsibilities, and the nobility must live well. Do you have anyone suitable to recommend for elevation? This always happens. The trade is actually kind of worth it, and this place in particular is kind of it's a launch point for battle, realistically. I don't actually have a recommendation for them that I've properly looked into. This is kind of risky. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Now, little Karen does have an interesting temperament as far as this all goes, but I don't want to see little Karen as a noble. We're gonna learn to hate little Karen if that's the case. The Sacred Bud. We could make the Sacred Bud the noble. Let's do it. I've looked into some of the dwarves' trades, but we don't have them named and stuff. The dwarf named that, not you. Yeah. Exactly. You are Genghis Karen. That is little Karen. More pets. Bring us more pets. They're not gonna bring us all of these anyway, so... Although, if they do, we know that they value us. We can request the broker. Music just shifted. Alright, let's see what they've got for us. Take some wood. We don't really have flasks. That's a really nice one. We'll take some instruments. We want them to take that food, so we can actually afford a whole bunch. A cat! We'll take the cat. Oh, we really do not need more of that. We'll take a mace. Chol fur trousers, yep. Yeah. We haven't actually made any clothing here, like produced any here. So that's something that one of the dwarves brought with them, probably. Training swords and spears would probably be good. We will take some seeds, because we're going to be looking at that kind of stuff soon. Actually, do they have any leather for me? Oh no, I right-clicked. Take this, we're not taking that, we take this, we take this. Singular pigtail tunic, yeah. They're only selling the one. Just the one. They have a lot of cloth. Any leather, any leather. There, we'll take that. Green Devourer. Take some of that. Alright. Turns out they just have a lot of bins of stuff. Take some iron bolts. Some loincloths. I'm sure that the dwarves need no underwear by this point. How do you make a tunic out of one pigtail? Oh, pigtails in this world are like some kind of reed or something that they make clothes out of. Alright, take all of this, take all of that. They won't give it to us. We'll give up some of these. Fine. Fine, we'll let go of some of the stuff. You better give it to us now. Went into the green. You're like, excuse me? Like, how big is that pig? Kolvad and the surrounding lands have been made a barony. The High Beginning has been re-elected. This is a church town. Here for war. This is some funky dwarf music, yeah. just been adding like a little bit more and a little bit more at a time. It feels like it's really coming together. Like, I didn't know that they could up the ante when it came to the music, but they added even more with the recent update. Do we have furniture made? Don't have any cabinets. Do we have any chests? No. Alright, we'll need to assign them making those. This one shall be wood. Little bit of organizing. My back's doing good today. Dwarf rave in the tavern, absolutely. Yeah, it's feeling better. I spent some time on the yoga ball yesterday. Swapped back to the chair when my it's a different part of my back that gets tired with the yoga ball than with the chair. So going back and forth between them, it sort of lets different parts of my back rest at different times. It's the best I can figure. But yeah, doing good today. Oh, another piglet. We have so many piggies now. Oh yeah, we have a new cat too. It'll be in a cage. There it is. Let the kitty out the cage. I think we have 2 female cats. Yeah, we have 2 female cats. We're about to have a whole bunch more cats. Make a fashion line out of those pig's tails. And that is the goal. I'm gonna have them disallow cloth down here. At least for now. Just because I think they're putting all of it down there instead of on the stockpile I want them to here. I love that I can just tell the dwarves to organize things for me, and they will. That might be my favorite part of this game in particular. I don't have to do the organizing. I just have to tell them what they need to do. And I want steel. Do we have any steel? We've got silver. Got electrum. We got iron. Tell them to make some pig iron. Looks like they're on that now. We can make black bronze. Rose gold. See, it requires pig iron bars for make steel bars. So we gotta wait on them to make more. Looks like they're just getting to it. We'll just have them do that 2 times. Instead of just the 1 with all this other stuff going on. Can I click on the 2 super unhappy dwarves and see why they're upset? Oh man, there's 3 now. There was 1 for a second there. Alright, so one of them... Okay, 2 of them are children. Hard work is a true sign of character. Horrified reliving seeing the goblin Stassos Raspad die. So, what we've discovered today is that several of these dwarves were genuinely traumatized by watching a goblin die at one point. I'm pretty sure that that's because some of the children are the ones that are traumatized. I think it was the goblin, like, child snatchers that were going after the children. that ended up getting beat to death before any of the dwarves really had weapons. I'm pretty sure watching that traumatized a few dwarves. And that's definitely making them more unhappy. But this dwarf in particular, Coulette, she is dour as a rule. And basically every one of her traits amounts to her being miserable all the time. She got caught in the rain in 102 and decided that she would just as soon have nature and the great outdoors burned to ashes and converted into a great mining pit. Like, this is a dramatic dwarf. And it seems like whenever she remembers seeing that goblin die, she starts to get really unhappy. She is playing with an axe, though. We adjusted the chores that they have to do as children to try to make things a little nicer for them. Yeah, see, this one too. Horrified reliving seeing the goblin's dead body. And this one. What's wrong with him? Horrified reliving seeing Rim Hatchet. Who was Rim Hatchet? Were they a friend of yours? Oh no, this is the one that he wants to be spending time with friends, but he's also relatively disagreeable and anger prone. So like, he's not very good at making friends. He's learned to value nature though, from being caught in the rain, so he took something more positive from things. You'd think the dead goblins were a good thing, yeah. Even the children have learned the dead goblin's name, yeah. It's probably not even the same language. Now this dwarf, he's very quick to anger. I do think I want to add him to a squad. Part of the problem was that he was the leader of a squad. Yeah, we'll put him in a squad. That'll make him happier. This is too real for you. Understandable. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress goes into a crazy level of detail, especially when you start looking at the combat logs. Gonna name this dwarf Myron and hope for the end. Understandable. Actually, it was like this, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're working on the water feature in the tavern, just because that will make the dwarves much, much, much happier. So what we can do for them, we've got some nice stuff. Let's make some nice statues. Sorry, guys. I kept the trader there the whole time. He could have been done with it. They already made the trade. The Hillocks of Lance Moistened has been founded a half-day's travel to the north and incorporated into our holdings. Interesting. So we just got a bit higher profile. Right there. The Creative Plains. Economically linked to us. Yeah, so these, we're gonna have to start fighting soon. That shall be interesting. Now, we are going to want weapons in that case. Something else. Let's see. Can we make steel yet? There it is. Make some steel. So we've got 2 orders of pig iron before we got steel bars ordered. Hopefully that will mean that we're making it pretty consistently. Let them smooth all this out. So much to do in a dwarven fortress. The more dwarves there are, the more there is to do. The more dwarves there are to do it. Do end up spending more time paused if we want to make efficient use of the time, though. You know what? I kind of just want them to be making blocks in general. Make 100 blocks for me. Just 100 blocks. That's what I want. Some more dwarves have arrived. Okay. Children have left toys everywhere. That's kind of funny. They do it in-game too. So what we're gonna end up doing is putting several statues down in the tavern that water will rain down on, making a nice little like misty fog in the tavern that the dwarves absolutely adore. They love, love, love a nice mist. They love a waterfall. It reminds them of waterfalls. It kind of is a waterfall. I'm gonna probably put them like there and there. They just need to have 2 spaces between them. There we go. Now, we do that. that's going on, we go up here. I think just a windmill will do it. And then this is kind of the tricky part. I'm trying to remember if we needed to do this and then this. Ah, there. We gotta start from the bottom with that. We'll try it two ways. We'll start from the bottom here. Either way, we're gonna have to do that. This is gonna look really weird until it's done. Like, so far we just have like a little window down into the tavern. Somebody wants to jump down there. Pool of river spirits. They dropped their booze. Alright, and then I think we may be able to just connect it here and have it actually connect. Which we will see. We might have to do it like one space out and do a horizontal axle. Creature occupying site. Oh, there was a cat laying down where the statue wanted to be. So let's look at the statue. We got statue of rats, statue of a hoary marmot, statue of asked granite tames, the dwarf and helms in Billen by Lickot. He's admiring the helms. Who is asked granite tames? Are they here with us? There's an asked. Yeah, this is asked granite tames. They did a statue of this one. Legendary observer, high master discipline, great fighter, talented axe dwarf, talented striker. You can kind of see why. Granite Tames is a really interesting name for a dwarf. There we go. Okay, so that's spinning. Total power. Yeah, see, it's not connected. So we gotta rebuild that. It's either because of the order that I built things in, or because it needs a little bit of spacing here before I can connect it. Interrupted by a buzzard. Oh, there's a buzzard just circling our animals. Even just having the statues in here should make them happier. It's a statue of donkeys. Apparently it's 2 donkeys. They wanted to make some animal statues. That's kind of cute. This fort really does like its animals. Look at all of the pigs we have. The buzzard and the horse are fighting. buzzard taking a snap at the horse. They must be harassing the people picking the plants, the foragers. Uh-oh, the cat's trying to run off. Feel dejected while caught in the rain. Well, then don't run off, then. You know what? The cats actually, legitimately, should be back here protecting the food. Not gonna put them in with the birds, because that seems like tempting fate. But this back here should be where the cats go. Until there are too many of them for that. I like having dogs in the tavern in the short term, but also certain humanoid creature species do get attacked and do attack dogs, even when they would otherwise just chill in the tavern. So I'm always kind of split on that, you know? I don't know. I think they wanted me to... Oh no, we managed the temple complex just by adding stuff to the pedestals, it looks like. Seeking work as a performer. Well, we need plenty of them. How we doing down here? All smoothed out. We got marble blocks. Fancy. There's the dolomite blocks we've been waiting on. Nice, peaceful music. Ah, they genuinely do want to join. Okay. Yeah, you're part of the fort now. We have a human here now. Alright, we're actually starting to store the cloth there. What about the thread? We've got a bunch of stuff here. Do we actually have them spinning thread? Yeah, we seem to be getting mostly wool and stuff like that. Oh, see, collect webs. That's why we need the caverns. If we want silk. Alright, let's get the loom working. I feel like I'm gonna end up changing the numbers later because less than 10 is pretty low. But We'll at least have a limitation until then. Whereas spinning thread, I don't actually want a limitation on because I don't think we can use the stuff for anything else, really. Just has to be turned into thread before we can do anything with it. And now a dancer's visiting, so we'll have more entertainers in the tavern as well. Alright, let's see if we can get this connected up. Alright. So total power that it's producing is 40 here. Ah! Ursy Fleshy Sword. What? Human dancer. What kind of dancer? With a name like that. What? Excuse me, sir. What kind of dancing do you do? You're a human, not an elf, right? The elves, I'm pretty sure, are straight up strippers. He's made deeply uncomfortable by differences in culture or appearance. It's not great for being in the tavern, but he's intolerant. He showed up, was grouchy because of the rain, didn't feel anything while having an intellectual discussion with somebody in the tavern, was delighted after watching a performance, and immediately wants to join us. The Band of Mops. Well, I mean, sure, we'll take another entertainer. I'm very skeptical of what kind of entertaining he's going to be doing, though. Alright, maybe we have to rebuild that. Oh, I remember what it is. We have to use one of these thingies, gear assembly. Because it's going around a turn. There we go. That's moving. This one we will also have to deconstruct and replace with a gear assembly. But then should be relatively easy. It's gonna be like one more turn that we have in there. But now we get to the weird part. Alright, we need screw traps and pipe sections. We're going to be using up a little bit of wood. Actually, you know what? We need several of them. So, just... How we doing on steel? Winter is upon us. Whole new group sparring in the barracks or the Karen Hall. Alright, man, I'm really contemplating this. This is gonna have to be temporary. We're gonna have to figure out something else for power. Because the way that the siege update is. Like, I'm gonna have to adjust that over time. We will see. It should be okay for now. But it becomes a breach point, even with a short wall. Could burn goblins for power. Just trap them in the walls, pulling levers and stuff to generate power. Lots of fishermen. Siege operators is an interesting category to me. Alright. As soon as we get this done, though, we should have some happier dwarves. Just need them working on this. Baby bunnies. Where are they? Little things. Oh, look how round it is. I am scooping the laurel. Why are you doing this? She just made it so difficult to scoop her, even though she walked up to me wanting to get scooped. Cat's just playing coy always. Get cozy, I'm sorry. There. Sorry about my screaming chair. Oh, looks like one of the dwarves just remembered something traumatic. Went from 2 to 3 angry dwarves. Alright, there's the cloth. They're working on that. There we are. Just kind of have them go in a circle here. Hey, they're different colors, that's cool. Alright, and they are able to kind of climb over it. And then we need more gear assemblies. What's it? These two are connected. I think it was only 3 that I need. What was it? Okay. It's pumping this way. Yeah, I think it's just the 3 that I need. If it doesn't work, then I know what I need to change. Alright, so we need one more windmill. And we can just hook these up to each other. Makes it very easy, and then we'll have a little bit of excess even. Now, I haven't played around with dwarven electricity all too much, but we have water wheels. We've got floodgates. We've got some interesting options as far as producing power. The windmills do have to be above ground. There we go. We have 80. All the power we could need. And now, what we must do, the final step. Unless we want to put, like, we could put iron bars here just to make it so that nobody can fall through, but water can get through. You know what? I think we will, just for the sake of the siege update. Let's see if this works. So the more we can seal things off from each other, the better. This is still the upper levels. Like, the tavern is not exactly a secure location. We're letting people from outside the fort into the tavern. We haven't had any goblins show up yet. That doesn't mean they won't. So yes, now if we do this. Oh no, not water source. Pit/pond. That's what we want. If we do this, designate it as a zone. Designate the zone as the top of a pond. Citizens will bring buckets of water if the pond below isn't filled. We gotta wait for them to bring some water. Doesn't need to be very much. There we are. That'll be enough. Now we don't need that zone anymore. And down here, look at that. Nice mist. The dwarves are going to love this. Like, we are going to see a lot more happy dwarves out of that change alone. So now what I want to do is I want to go up here and I just want to build a short wall around all of this. Don't have much in the way of materials. But it's better than just leaving it completely open at the same time. The animals will probably enjoy it too. Yeah, the pig is relieved being near to a waterfall. The dogs love it. It was the right time to move the cats over there. I don't know if the cats would feel the same way about the water. And yeah, right now, this right here is the way in. The thing is, they're going to be able to dig through the walls and stuff like that too. That's why I've been trying to fill it in with actual, like, block walls. It just depends on the siege equipment they bring, from what I've seen. Oh, one of them grew attached to an iron shield. Did we run out of stuff? We have a whole bunch of iron. Have we made any steel yet? We do have some steel. Alright, we're not smelting the platinum right now. Why can't we make the pig iron yet? What are we missing? Requires flex boulders. We need more. Okay, I see. We're gonna have to forbid them from using the dolomite for other stuff. We are finally getting to that point. Almost certain there is a way to do it. See, like, kitchen, we can forbid them from making food out of our drinks, which I haven't done in a while. Stone use, here we go. Select to use in non-economic jobs. So the marble, we can make steel and pig iron out of the marble as well. Let's just deselect the dolomite, because it's a bit more specific. And the chalk, because we'll want something for quicklime as well. We'll just leave the marble as a, you know, an expensive material to craft stuff out of. So they can just decide to come from anywhere, just about, it seems like. We have a lot of dirt walls and stuff like that that are going to be a problem if they bring stuff they can dig. Okay, I am going to dig out more storage. So that will actually get us a lot more materials. These we were going with 16 by 12 basically. These ones, I'm just not gonna bother to make where the entrance is even. Because I kind of want it closer to where they're coming from anyway. Just err on the side of towards the hallway. Alright, we only have one extremely unhappy dwarf now. Look at that. 13 in the neutral zone. We started with 15 in the neutral zone. We have 10 extremely happy dwarves. The water feature in the tavern is huge for how easy it is to set up. Now, for the security risk that it's gonna be, I'm gonna have to figure something else out. Since we've got a lot of stuff set up for bedrooms already, let's go ahead and actually turn them into bedrooms. That will make the dwarves even happier. Do we have someone? Gem cutter taken by Fey Mood. We may need to set up a crafting table for them. Crafting table, you know. Crafting station. We don't have anywhere for gem cutting, so I'll just slap one down that we can move. Jeweler. Sure, it can be made of marble. We're gonna be moving it anyway. Those have gotta be some happy pigs. They don't have any mud, but they be staying moist. Pigs with the best skin. Cave spider silk. Astesh taper copper. Another bard. He saw the water feature and he was sold. He's liking the performances here too, though. He ended up getting into an argument. Humorless. He's not got the best traits. Quick to anger, utterly humorless, noticeable lack of perseverance, tends to not be swayed by emotional appeals. Prefers that everyone live as harmoniously as possible, though. Doesn't seek out excitement. But he's brave in the face of imminent danger. When greeting others, he always smiles nervously, and he always points at others when greeting them. So he's like, hey! Oh no. Dreams of creating a great work of art. You know what? He can join us. He can join us. That's alright. I pretty much accept everybody. Unless they're very obviously a vampire or were creature or up to no good. Actually, I could make this marble. Just about. Need more marble blocks. He's working furiously. Everything's fine. Alright, so he doesn't need anything more. That is good. Hey! The final alpaca is a mother again. Oh, there we go. They're already done. A perfect shorel. All craft dwarfship is of the highest quality. The object menaces with spikes of shorel. Fun, you know? Should probably have them making some cabinets. We kind of just need to keep digging. This is the answer so far, is just keep digging. Got clay there. Just straight clay as well, like not sandy clay or anything. Interesting find. Could maybe have them gather clay there. Another thing we haven't done, I haven't really seen many critters around, but we haven't been checking either. A bunch of storks. Probably not gonna catch them in the cages. Could be worth a try anyway. I think I'm gonna assign these guys to be making stuff though. We have a lot of wool. Like a handful of pigtail cloths. I think the one that we're going to be producing the most of right now is going to be wool, which kind of sucks for them because that means they need to have yarn loincloths for a while. I like to give them like silk and cloth for their loincloths especially, but they'll have to put up with it being a little itchy. Their socks go the fastest, like their socks and their underwear. It also depends on how much combat they end up in. If we only produce robes, then they'll all end up in robes. It's kind of funny. All yarn everything for now, though. They'll at least be warm during the winters. We can assign specific dwarves to be crafting on these stations. Like, not allowing anybody else to be crafting on them. But I kind of like just letting them, you know, whoever's available and wants to go and make something, go and make something. Because a lot of them really highly value craftsdwarfship. They want to make something beautiful. They're only going to do that if they gain the skills to do that. Did we ever make another traction bench? Yeah, we did. what we should have done already is assign a chief medical dwarf and some other dwarves. Just because it's good to have that already set up when you need them. Oh, there's more here. Messenger. Interesting. We can send messages now. Ah, we gotta make a place for the Baroness as well. Right now we needed... Chief Medical Dwarf, there it is. Diagnostician. Erden, you can do that. We have a skilled surgeon at least. And a novice bone doctor, but still. Better than nothing. No. Thank you, thank you. And that sound is the sound that indicates that it was a good idea to have been training some dwarves. An ambush. I've got crossbowmen. Now the range apparently works a lot better than it used to. Oh wait, the fucking elves. Okay, the elves are just kind of pissed off. They're letting me know that I've been cutting down too many trees. Alright. Now, I think the ambush is referring to the goblins. There are a few of them. Normally I would just send our dwarves out to meet them, because it doesn't seem like there's very many. We're gonna want to set up a burrow as well to actually have people go indoors during this. I think, okay, this is probably not the best idea, right? But I think I just want to attack them early on. Just send the dwarves out. See how it works. Because the first ambush, it's probably not going to be huge. Let's see. There's only 5 of them on the map so far. Let's hope little Karen survives. Yeah, absolutely. I don't like that they have ranged and they showed up on the high ground. That is annoying to me. Either way, they're going to be trying to take advantage of that. We could wait until they try to go down into here, but we didn't finish the wall around this, so they're probably going to be taking this stairway. Which takes them into an awkward part of the base. You want to see the combat logs? Yeah. I think I'm gonna send our people out after them. The ones that have showed up already. Yeah, they shout things during combat as well. We've got 5. He's terrified while in conflict. He knows what's coming. Alright. I would like it if everybody else would say inside as well. So what we're gonna do here... This is the first burrow. It includes the top floor because we've got a little entrance there that we can seal. If that gets breached, then we have another layer that we can seal as well. Kind of just have to add all of these locations though, otherwise they won't be able to go here while we have the burrow turned on. Yeah, we want them to be able to go down to there in case they need to bury anybody. You never know when that's going to happen, and the sieges I feel like are going to be a little bit different than they were. Alright, let's assign everybody to it. Can't go outside of it to try to get stuff. And then most of the time we're going to leave it paused, but right now we're going to leave it unpaused. But these guys, they're not going to listen. They're not going to listen to the burrow order. They're going to kill some goblins. They're snatchers too. Man, they're fighting the storks and stuff. Those are not even our storks. Ooh, he got here really early. Poor guy. He must have been out at the time. So already... we've got a combat log. They're shooting at him with silver bolts, man. We're not werewolves. She grabs him and shakes the goblin crossbowman around by the right foot, tearing apart the right foot's muscle and bruising the bone, and tearing apart the right ankle's muscle and bruising the bone. An artery in the right foot has been opened by the attack. Many nerves have been severed. A ligament has been torn, and a tendon has been torn. Swordsdwarf shakes the goblin. Right ankle collapses. An artery in the right foot has been opened. Shakes the goblin. Punches the goblin crossbowman in the right hand with her left hand, and the injured part collapses into a lump of gore. Another artery opened. She's scratching the goblin crossbowman. Our time in the ageless realm is so brief. Begone, fear! Does this dwarf know he can attack other parts of the body? He fell down at one point before Swordsdwarf fell over. Because he got shot in the right upper leg. Tore a tendon. The force pulled his right hip and he fell over. And he grabbed the goblin by the leg and started flinging him around. Eventually the dwarf will get the crossbow off of him. But this is quite a bit. We've got 2 goblin thieves to worry about as well. They're in the trees. The goblins are in the trees. Alright, we need 1 more we're missing. Alright, just go on after them. Where are the reinforcements? Alright, they're coming. They're coming. Another snatcher. We're spotting them as the dwarves are moving out. They're spotting more of them. Ooh, we've got a martial trance. Whoa. Look at that. Shh, a spray of arrows. Kill goblins. It's a good thing we got the hospital set up. What is this week? First Martina does, now this. Oh yeah, the Dwarf Fortress is quite like this. This is why we set up in Goblin Country, though. We wanted to see the combat. In a way, this is like a luxury retreat for a dwarf. Because they really, really love fighting. Dealer. Let's see. Can I get the combat log on you? There they are. Kill goblins. Swords Dwarf bites the goblin crossbowman in the upper body. Latches on firmly. Shakes, 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 shakes. Okay, this guy's a dog. He went into a martial trance and grabbed the goblin and started shaking him. This one's a bitey dwarf. Shaking him around by the head. A tendon in the skull has been torn? Emotional damage. Everyone misses Martina. These dwarves, they could use some more combat training, yeah. These are some bitey dwarves. They need some weapons as well. Part of this is that they're learning mostly wrestling. Oh, listen to this beautiful music. Get him. Get him! Chase him down! Kill goblins. Oh, they're catching that one. They got him. Alright. now it is time to turn the burrow off so that the injured can actually be retrieved. Dealer ended up dying. This happens to dwarves that go into martial trances sometimes. A legend! The legend of the very mighty dwarf. Alright. How many more do we have to round up? One casualty, believe it or not. Actually pretty good. Considering how unprepared we were. Now, get him. I believe in you, dwarves. Why is there a baby outside? Wait. Someone just gave birth? An elite wrestler just gave birth to a boy. On the hillside. At the end of combat. Show me the new baby. We need to name the new baby. Zaneg Kulet. What shall we name the baby? Doomed worshipped Solve. What do you name a baby that was born in the middle of a battle? Goblin Bite. Goblin's Bane. Goon Herald. I feel like that one. It feels like a reference to something. I'm gonna go with Goblin's Bane. Green right foot tendon. That would be an interesting name for a dwarven child. Aw, man, we had plans to cut down that tree. We kind of need to. Sorry, elves. We may end up fighting the elves, too. I'd really prefer to have some, some more animals. It would be great to have more animals rather than making enemies with the elves right away. But I don't know that they've tried to trade with me much either. Alright, the dwarves that were downed are getting retrieved. We're good, we're good. Just the one casualty. He fought well. These we can assign real quick, too. An elven caravan just arrived. Awesome. If they judge us for killing those goblins, I don't even know what to say to them. Yes, yes, they're living creatures, but... It's alright, I'm pretty sure that the elves care far more about the trees than any of the sentient species in this game. Ah, we have some musical instruments to put down still, too. Now, we can probably give the elves some booze. They're not gonna get pissed off that we're eating plants. Like, what do the elves eat if they don't eat plants? Oh, even the grass gets upset when you eat it. Well, then what do you eat? The prepared food is worth a lot more. But we don't know if that has meat in it. We can't really filter by vegetarian food. We'd just have to force the dwarves to be vegetarian if we wanted to cater to the elves with food. Like, cater to, literally, catering. You were thinking of what would sound dwarfish in heralds. Well, herald stuff. Announce or something. Fair. Fair? It's a fun combo. I like goblin bite. I just wanted to make it a little more... Like, what would a dwarf call that, you know? It'd be like, this child is what chased away the goblins. This child is goblin's bane. Alright, hopefully they brought some animals. If not, if we get the diplomacy window, then we can ask them to bring some animals. How are we doing in the hospital? Third finger, left hand, nail. Third finger, left hand, skin. Third finger, left hand, bone. This guy is unconscious and he needs surgery, needs sutures, needs setting, needs dressing. Poor guy. Alright, we need a chest in here, I think. Get them making all the furniture stuff. I think we do have stuff for the hospital. It's just they have to run a little further to get it, because it's not being stored here right now. How are they doing here? Diagnosis required. What's going on here? Yeah, they know that they're off duty, right? Oh, they're washing the blood off of themselves there. Ability to stand and grasp lost. So we've definitely got some damage here. I had a bath. This could be bliss. Just could be. Undetermined at this point. Ban has been imposed on certain goods. Okay. I see. They're getting pissed off because I haven't built them something. Export of menacing spikes prohibited. That should be alright. And toy hammers. Still not allowed to trade. Okay, we'll buy some wood from that. A flying squirrel? Yeah, we'll take it. They sell barrels. They sell barrels. Hypocrites. We're gonna need more crutches after this. Well, there we go. Then we'll put the flying squirrel in the tavern. See if anybody wants it as a pet. Where is it? Tame flying squirrel. Yeah, that's adorable. Someone could have a very cute pet. They get so frustrated being injured like this. Like, they just get angry not doing anything, and like sometimes they even feel guilty because they've been resting for so long. I should be doing something with myself. Feels restless after being able to rest and recuperate. Like, they're upset about having time to rest and recuperate. Dwarf lost the ability to walk, at least temporarily. They've been vomiting. Look at that. Fractured ribs. When did they fall down? They were pulling the iron bolt out of themselves. Looks even more sick. Yeah, they've got wounds to the guts. That dwarf is lucky to be alive. I don't think I'm cut out for this, they say. Oh, man. Very slow to anger, very stubborn. Sometimes acts with little determination and confidence. Doesn't mind a little tumult and discord in day-to-day living. Conflicted by this since she values harmony as an intellectual concept. Tends to avoid any physical confrontations, and she works to square this natural tendency with her respective martial prowess. I mean, it seems to me like she might have it. She personally finds maintaining decorum a silly, fumbling waste of time due to being caught in the rain in 102. Apparently that rain in particular was a very shaping rain to a lot of these dwarves. Values a harmonious existence, does not respect the law, and doesn't really see the point of working hard. Seems like this one kind of just wants to be a craft dwarf. But they all enjoy training to fight. Ah, we've got kittens already. I knew it. We got like 2 litters of kittens there at the same time. Well, we definitely made a bit of progress today. Having the water feature here seems to be really making the fort happier. We will eventually be able to close this in as well. We get that down, and I think I'll add a door just there. We definitely need to cut that tree down. Sorry, elves. We might just piss them off. Now, if we can't buy all of the animals that we want from them, then we can eventually steal a bunch of the animals that we want from them. Well, at least there's more than one way at it. But I'm already 15 minutes past when I was probably going to stop. When I scheduled it. So, for now, the elves will remember this transgression. They will. They know they be talking to the trees. Tapped into the mycelial networks. Elves are actually mushrooms. They're some form of fungi. And yet, not fun guys. I hope you all have a very lovely time zone, my friends. It was great gaming with you.